What's going on, folks? Taking a look at the markets once again today. It is the 28th of June, early in the morning. Going to take a look at Bitcoin, Casper, take a quick look over at the stock market, probably look at the SPY. So Casper, once again here, trying to break this 334 level. And it is putting up a good fight. Better fight than XRP has for similar levels. 334 mentioned that we'll probably get up to that level. Things were looking really good actually yesterday. We hit a high of 376 and closed actually. Where did we close? Close was at 338. We actually closed above our 334 level, which is pretty impressive. And today, once again, we are trying to get above that level, but finding a little bit of a struggle. My thoughts were we would get up to this level, find some resistance for the short term, and then ideally we would turn that 334 into support and then start to stair step higher to our next level, which is the 59 level. That would be 0.0509. But we will see. Kind of depends on, it actually pretty much depends on what Bitcoin does. Looks like Bitcoin is up right now and some of these other markets are down slightly. Below the market, we have obviously our 224 area that we have mentioned in other videos. And then we have another area below the market that has popped up, and that would be the 1740 area right down here. So that would put us down into much lower prices. I think the only way that comes into play is if they pull the plug on the overall markets and things start to head lower. I don't think that would happen right away. I think it would take a lot to get the price down to there. Keeping in mind that we do have that area of support at 224. But perhaps something to keep on your charts is that 174, that 0.0174 area is an area down there. It doesn't mean it's going to come into play, just like the ones to the upside. Doesn't mean these will come into play. But if we start to really trend down here, that could be an area to look for support, just like Casper found support here at 224. But with market sentiment where it's at historically, right now, we're living through it. We have been for the past month. The markets are trying to find, if not already, their bottoms across the board. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. We'll come back to Casper. So Bitcoin, basically the same over here. Found its bottom along with the stock market, pulled up to our, not quite, but close to our 22,183.70 level. Brief pullback, and perhaps we're ready for that next bounce higher, taking out the high on the 26th of June, putting us up into a higher high. So that is a good sight to see. Looks like we hit a low, I think it was in the 17s, 17,567. Brings us back to our area from back in 2018. Looks like so far anyways, we have found some support there. So that is definitely good to see. Don't forget, if you have not watched the other videos, that our upside target right now for Casper is 0.0509 to the upside. Now that's assuming we don't get crushed here and start to really trend lower. That area does still stand, but the odds of that getting hit start to go lower as we head, if we head, or when we head to the downside to the 224. But we will see, obviously, what plays out here. Let's check out a smaller time frame. And I'm going to show you this for a reason. You can see that the Casper price is trying to get above this 334 level. And you can see, it gets above it, pulls back, gets above, pulls back, breaks out, and then it just can't get above it right now. At some point, it will. But like we said, we're just not sure how long that will be. Maybe sooner than later, maybe not. But you can see how the price is reacting here around this level. Pretty interesting. Back to a daily chart. So that is my thoughts. I mean, really not too much to talk about here. And we're just, we were able to accumulate down to 224 and then reap the benefits up here at the 334. Very nice. Very nice percentage move to the upside. I believe it's like 49% or so, give or take, depending on where you got filled, 49 to 50% higher on the shares of Casper purchased down at that 224 area we were calling for. And now we're up here at 327. So I'm keeping my eye on that 334 level, see if we can get above it. It all depends how strong this thing is. Maybe it's not ready. Maybe it is ready. Ideally, what I'm looking for is a break above 334, turning that into support, and then heading up to the 509 area. So if we go over here to XRP, you can see XRP doesn't look as strong, but same issue. We have an issue at 37,800. We got up to there, couldn't get above it, and then we're having this pretty good pullback here, actually, which is looking like it wants to find support at the highs of this area right in here, basically where it's trading at right now. And today's candle wick is looking like perhaps that will happen, which would be good for the XRP holders. And so we get the pullback, and then perhaps we'll get that bounce, giving us that next higher high. Patience is part of the game sometimes. Looks like the stock market is going to, or wants to anyhow, do a bounce today. Let's take a look at the SPY. So far, market bottom is in down here on the 17th of June. Market sentiment last week was basically unbelievable. Haven't seen market sentiment like that since, I believe, back in the housing debacle in the 08-09 area. So that was very, very interesting. I do recall those times. Definitely young then and not involved in the markets. So it's very interesting to see sentiment get back to those years. Something of concern anyways for me is the gap down here below the market, which was put in on Friday. Friday was a big day for the stock market. It was a really nice day to be long, and maybe it's a breakaway gap, but it's definitely a thing of concern to have a gap way below the market like that. So gaps tend to get filled over time, so who knows what'll happen. You can see down here we had a gap, and they basically tried to fill it, or they did fill it, I should say, on the SPY, and then we were off to the races. So do we get a gap fill here and create another fear event, a shakeout? Time will tell. Above the market, though, on the other hand, we have gaps too, and just like below, above, at some point they will get filled. That puts us all the way up to the 401 level. So definitely quite a bit higher than where we are at. Things are looking good here. That's pretty much my thoughts on what's going on. Market looks ready to go once again today. Casper finding some issues at our 334 level. We just don't know when it's ready. I mean, it can turn on a dime. We've seen this thing just, when it starts to go, it just goes. But 334 is an issue in the sand right now. Above that 509, below that 224. And if they want to make things get real ugly, below that is 1740. 1740, which is a big, big move to the downside. So if we take from where we're at today down to 1740, that is a very, very big move to the downside. Bitcoin looks like it's trying to work its way higher today. Definitely going to have some issues at that 22,183.70. But if the market goes and Bitcoin follows, perhaps it blows that right through the sand. So that is pretty much my thoughts here. XRP, Casper, Bitcoin, SPY. If you're long from the bottom, not too much to worry about anyways. I want to show you guys a pretty cool website came across. It's called tradingcenter.org. Up top, there's a couple tabs: learning, training, trading. If you go to the learning tab, there is a pretty cool area called chart patterns. If that's something you were into, there's a couple other tabs you can click here. On the chart patterns area, you can scroll down and it gives you different chart patterns. Little review about them, some percentages, reliability, and so on. Pretty cool. Looks like this is a major reversal chart patterns, double tops, triple tops, rounding top and bottoms, cup and handle patterns, triangle chart patterns, flag and pennant patterns, and so on. So pretty cool. I will leave a link to this down below if this is something you are interested in. I know a lot of people like to study the chart patterns, and this website seems pretty cool. So, all right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Casper currently down 3.55% early this Tuesday morning, the 28th of June. So keep your eye on 334, keep your eye on 224, and then keep your eye on below the market 1740, and above the market, which is what we are rooting for here, 509. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one.